Let us begin with chapter first, number system of class 9. So before starting this chapter, we should know certain number of terms. So the very first term is real number. We should know what are real numbers. So real numbers include all rational numbers and all irrational numbers. That is, all points lying on an infinitely long number line are real numbers, starting from minus infinity to plus infinity. Similarly, integers. So integers consist of 0, positive natural numbers and their additive inverses. That is, numbers from minus infinity to plus infinity on number line are integers. So it does not include decimals. So next, whole numbers. So basic counting numbers from 0 to infinity are whole numbers starting from 0 to infinity. It includes positive integers along with 0. Next, natural numbers. So the numbers from 1 to 3 up to infinity are natural numbers, or we can say positive integers are natural numbers. Next, rational numbers. So a number which is in the form of p upon q, where both p and q are integers and q is not equals to 0. So such a type of number is called rational number. For example, 3 by 4. So both 3 and 4 are integers and q is not equal to 0. So q it is expressed in p by q form also, where 4 is not equal to 0. Similarly, 5 is also a rational number. 5 can be written as 5 upon 1. So p by q form, this condition is satisfied. Similarly, 5 and 1 both are integers. Second condition satisfied. And 1 is not equal to 0. So q is not equal to 0. Third condition also satisfied. That means it is a rational number. Similarly, next is irrational numbers. So the numbers which are not rational are called irrational numbers, like root 2. So root 2 is irrational number since it is not rational. So now let's begin with exercise 1.1. So exercise 1.1 question number first is 0 a rational number? So yes, I think yes, it is a rational number. So exercise 1.1 question number first part. Question number first, yes, 0 is a rational number. Since 0 can be written as 0 upon any number, we can write 3. So it is a form of p upon q, where p and q are integers and q is not equal to 0. So yes, it is a rational number. So can you write it in p by q form? Here we have written. So next question number second, find 6 rational numbers between 3 and 4. So this type of question we have already done in 8th standard also. So between 3 and 4 we have to find out 6 rational numbers. So first check whether the denominators of both the numbers are same or not. So here we have 3 upon 1, here also we have 3 upon 1. So that means the denominators are same. If it is not same, we will make them same. We will take an example for it also. So now we have to find out 6 rational numbers in between. So multiply both the terms by one greater number. So here we have to find out 6 rational numbers. So multiply both the terms by 7 and 7. So both numerators and denominators by 7 by 7. So this will be 7 multiplied 3 is 21 upon 7, and here we have 28 upon 7. So we can take any 6 numbers from between. So 22 upon 7, 23 upon 7, 24 upon 7, 25 upon 7, 26 upon 7, 27 upon 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 rational numbers lies in between 3 and 4. So next question. Find 5 rational numbers between 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. Very easy question, same type. So 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. So first check whether the denominators are same. So yes, denominators are same. Now multiply 3 by 5. We have to find out 5 rational numbers. So multiply both the terms by 6 and 6, and 4 by 5. So 3 by 5 multiplied by 6 is 6 multiplied 3 is 18 upon 30. Similarly, this will be 24 upon 30. So now denominators, obviously denominators are same already. Now 18 and 24, in between 18 upon 30 and 24 upon 30, write down 5 rational numbers. So we can say 19 upon 30, 19 upon 30, 20 upon 30, 21 upon 30, 22 upon 30, 23 upon 30. So these are 5 rational numbers in between 3 by 4 and 4 by 3 by 4, 3 by 1, 5 and 4 by 5. Next, state whether the following rational statements are true and or false. Give reasons for your answer. Every natural number is a whole number. Yes, every natural number is a whole number, since we have already defined here. Natural number starts from 1 and goes up to infinity, whereas whole number starts from 0 and goes up to infinity. So every natural number is a whole number, we can say. Next is every integer is a whole number. False, as integers may be negative but whole numbers are positive always. For example, -3 is an integer but not a whole number. So we can say -3 is an integer but it is not a whole number. So next, every rational number is a whole number. False, as rational numbers may be fractional but whole numbers may not be. For example, 1 by 5 is a rational number but not a whole number, or we can say 3 by 4 is a rational number but not a whole number. So this is all about this exercise, but let's talk about a similar category of question. Let's find out 3 rational numbers between 3 by 4 and 4 by 5. So here the denominators are not same. So firstly we have to make the denominator same. You can take an example. So we have to make the denominator same. So what is the LCM of 4 and 5? It is 20. So for making 20, 3 by 4 should be multiplied. 4 should be multiplied by 5. So multiply the numerator by 5 also. Similarly, 4 by 5, we have to multiply by 4 to make it 20. So 4. So this will be 15 upon 20. 4 multiply 4 is 16 upon 5 multiply 4 is 20. So if we have to find out 3 rational numbers, so we have to multiply both the numbers by 4 by 4. So 15 upon 20 multiply by 4 multiply by 4, and 16 upon 20 multiply by 4 multiply by 4. So 15 multiply 4 is 60, 20 multiply 4 is 80, 16 multiply 4 is 64, and 20 multiply 4 is 80. Now we have to find out 3 rational numbers. So write down 3 rational numbers: 61 upon 80, 62 upon 80, and 63 upon 80. So this was all about exercise 1.1. So let's start exercise 1.2. So before that, in exercise 1.2 we will be learning how to represent root values on number line. So for this, remember one theorem, Pythagoras theorem, we have already studied. So before this 9th standard, we have learned how to represent fractions on number line. So in this class we learn how to represent root values on number line, root decimals on number line. In this chapter we learned that. So for that, remember that Pythagoras theorem. So h hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus perpendicular square. This was Pythagoras theorem. So we can say h is equal to square root of b square plus p square. We can say h is equal to square root of b square plus p square. Now suppose if we have to represent root 2 on number line. So if take hypotenuse as root 2. So if hypotenuse is root 2, so root 2 can be broken down as 1 square plus 1 square. 1 square is 1, 1 square is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. So we can write down root 2 as in this way. So for this, b will be equal to 1 and p will be equal to 1. That is, base will be of 1 unit and perpendicular will be of 1 unit. Then the hypotenuse so obtained will be of root 2 unit. So if I have shown you using this figure, so here root 2 length is the hypotenuse. So in order to represent root 2 on number line, just measure this length, measure this hypotenuse distance using the compass. Put the compass needle on point O and open it up to point B. Now cut an arc, so in such a way that it cuts the number line at point P. So the distance OP will be equal to root 2. So this OP distance is equal to root 2. Similarly, let's represent root 3 on number line. If we have to represent root 3 on number line, so take hypotenuse as root 3. Now take base as, if we take base as root 2, root 2 plus 1 square. This root 3 can be written as 2 plus 1, and 2 is the square of root 2 and 1 is the square of 1 itself. So this implies base will be of 1 unit now and perpendicular will be of 1 unit. Now take base as 1 unit. So first we have to draw root 2 on number line. So first draw root 2 on number line in like this part we have already drawn. Now take base as root 2 unit, or take base as OP from the figure, and on point P draw 1 unit perpendicular and join that perpendicular with O point. Now OP, now whatever distance is that hypotenuse will be, it will be equal to root 3. Now measure the distance using compass, put the compass needle on point O, open it up to that point and cut an arc on the number line in the same way as given. So this OQ will be equal to root 3. Or there is one alternate procedure also. On the base OP, on the hypotenuse OP, draw 1 unit perpendicular over it. Let it be D point. So join O to D. So OD will be root 3. Now measure, put the compass needle on point O, open it up to point D and cut an arc such that it intersects number line on point Q. So OQ will be equal to root 3. Similarly, root 5 also we can draw. Root 5 will be equal to, we can write on root 5 as 2 square plus 1 square. So this implies base will be of 2 units and perpendicular will be of 1 unit. So take base as 2 units and after drawing 2 units, after taking 2 units base, draw 1 unit perpendicular over it. Now join the hypotenuse. So once you will join the hypotenuse, the length of the hypotenuse will be equal to root 5. Now put the compass needle on point O, open it up to that point and cut an arc over the number line. So this distance will be equal to root 5. So OC from the figure is equal to root 5. So let's you can represent any root number on number line using this procedure. Root 6 also you can represent. Root 6 can be written as square root of root 5 square plus 1 square. Now take base is equal to root 5 and perpendicular as 1. So in the same way we have drawn root 3 represent root 6. Likewise root 7 also you can represent. So root 7 you can write down as square root of root 6 square plus 1 square. So this implies take base as root 6. So for root 6 you have to draw root 5 first. So take base as root 6 on root 6 unit, take perpendicular as 1 unit. Similarly you can write down root 5 as square root of 2 square plus root 3 square. So take base as root 3. Root 3 is 3, 2 square is 4. So take base. So first draw root 3 and on root 3 draw a perpendicular of 2 units and join it with the origin. So the hypotenuse so obtained will be root 7. Similarly root 15, root 10 you can easily represent on number line. So root 10 we can write down as square root of 3 square plus 1 square. So base will be equal to 3 and perpendicular will be equal to 1. So this is how we are going to represent these root values on number line. So let's start this exercise 1.2. So in exercise 1.2, state whether the following are true or false. Justify your answer. Every irrational number is a real number. So it is true since the collection of real numbers is made up of rational and irrational numbers. We have already discussed from in the definitions with the help of definitions. So every point on the number line is in the form of root m, where m is a natural number. So false, as negative numbers cannot be represented as square root of any other number. So negative numbers can never be taken in square root of any other number. Next is every real number is an irrational number. So false. Real numbers include both rational numbers and irrational numbers. Therefore, every real number cannot be an irrational number, whereas every irrational number is a real number. Every irrational number can be a real number, but every real number cannot be an irrational number. Next question, question number 2. So Are the square roots of all positive integers irrational? If not, give an example of the square root of a number that is a rational number. So no, it is not true. As we know that root 5 we can write down as root 4 we can write down as 2, comma root 9 we can write down as 3. So therefore 2 and 3 are rational numbers. Thus the square roots of all positive integers are not irrational. This was question number 2. So next question number 3. Show how root 5 can be represented on the number line. This we have already done here by representing root 5 on the number line. So exercise I'll show you in the upcoming videos. So till then practice these root values. Try to represent them on number line. So try to represent root 2, root 3, root 5 we have already done, root 6, root 7, root 8, root 10, root 11, root 17. So try to represent these root values on number line. If there is any doubt you can ask me. So hope to see you in the next video. Thank you all.